Alright, I thought this would be fun. I think I found everyone in my show, and outside the show, an equivalent to a Justice League member and or an Avengers member. Um, I don't know exactly how great these things, you know, they may not all be accurate because some of them I came out with just the top of my head, but some of them are just completely hammered in, and that's the way everything's supposed to be. So, without further ado, here we go. Alright, first off, me, Gunner. And being the leader of the league, obviously Superman. That is my equivalent. I shouldn't really have to explain this one. I mean, I am the leader, the hero, the icon, the inspiration, who everyone looks up as perfect, even though, well, I'm really not. And just a really nice guy with, the conservative small-town morals. I'm not an exact copy of him, but I am really similar to him. That's the point of my character, is to be, the Superman. Of course, that really shouldn't come to a surprise to any of you. And if it does, I feel sad. And if it did, well, now you know. I am Superman. And, there's, a lot more into detail, but yeah, I am a different character, but I am extremely similar to Superman. That's my point. Yeah, but there is another character who I'm pretty similar to, not as similar to as Superman, but yeah, Captain America. And Superman stands for basically Captain America stands for basically the same thing as Superman. And that's why he's my Marvel equivalent, but there's also something about Captain America that's not about Superman that really stands out for me. The communists both fear and dread my name. Just like Captain America. The communists hate me because we fight communists. Did you not know that? Well, now you do. I am a cross between Superman and Captain America and one more. Spider-Man, because I have that adorable sense of humor and I'm so cute and lovable. And some may say that makes me a little bit more like Captain Marvel, but Captain Marvel has an attitude problem and I don't. And, well, yeah, I'm kind of like Spider-Man, but barely. Just when I'm being funny and cute. Like Spider-Man. Goku is tough because he's like a lot of characters, but probably for the universe he'd be the Captain Marvel. The reason for that is he's similar to me in personality with differences, though. He's almost as strong as me, but I'm sure he could outsmart me and win somehow. He's never done it before, but yeah, he would be the Captain Marvel, definitely. He pretty much fits that role perfectly. As far as Marvel goes, he'd be Iron Man and Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Fantastic because he's probably the smartest out of all of us. And Iron Man because, he's the co-leader, but at the same time he's not, rich. But, he's my right-hand man. He's pretty smart like Iron Man. He's an inventor. But then again, he's a lot like Mr. Fantastic. And he's not a womanizer like Iron Man, but, that's besides the point. Oh, he's also like Batman because you know how smart he is. But not much. There's another character more like Batman. So basically, he'd be Captain Marvel and Iron Man. Link. Link may be rather obvious since he is my sidekick. But, Robin. I know this is a picture of Nightwing, but Dick Grayson Robin, to be specific. Because he started off as, Robin, basically my sidekick. And then he grew into Nightwing, where he was still my partner, but, he was just a little bit, a little more grown up, a little bit more independent. I know I'm not Batman, but that doesn't mean he can't be Nightwing. Link is Dick Grayson, basically, just to let you know. And, he'd also be Bucky. Because, again, he's my sidekick. But he grows into a communist, but he does end up getting cured. What of our little Gohan? Our precious little Gohan. Well, he doesn't have a Marvel equivalent. His DC equivalent is obviously Robin, Tim Drake. He's the kid character, and the little youngling grows up, goes back to being a child. Vegeta. Vegeta is kind of tough. I always thought he was Batman, but that wasn't right. Wolverine, obviously, that would be his biggest equivalent, especially for Marvel. He doesn't really have a DC one. Probably Black Adam. Although I usually I thought it was Batman. It's not really. Yeah, but Wolverine definitely. You have to admit you see this one. I think I do want to take a moment to apologize for not having any other screenshots that have Emily and Yuki in them. I will have more as soon as the episode 2 and 3 are posted, which episode 2 will be posted this weekend. But anyway, onto their equivalents, because they're kind of interesting to explain. Now, I know what you're thinking. You want to smack me in the face right now, don't you? Yes, Batman's equivalent is a girl. Get over it. What's interesting to explain this is because Emily has the darkest origin story. She's the darkest hero, and yet somehow she still gets along with the Superman character, me. She's also very, very smart. She's a doctor. Bruce Wayne is not a doctor, but he's still very smart. There. Yeah. This one's easy to explain because she turns into someone similar to the She-Hulk. She has a big green monster form. Yeah. While Yuki doesn't really have a Marvel equivalent that I can think of, she does have a DC equivalent, Rorschach. The reason is because her origin story is even darker than Emily's, and the only reason she's not the darkest hero is because, well, she's not a hero, she's an anti-hero / neutral, but she becomes an anti-hero when she meets up with us. And out of the entire cast, including Vegeta, she's actually the only character who doesn't look up to me. She respects me, and I'm her BFF, but she doesn't look up to me as her hero. I guess somewhat as a role model, but not, someone who she really strives to be more like. She likes who she is, and she doesn't bother trying to change herself to be more perfect like me. She likes who she is, yeah. And she also doesn't follow my moral code, which even Vegeta does. He didn't used to, but he grew into it. And Tai is an imperfect teenage character who, in his younger days, strongly resembled Spider-Man. But as he grows older, he grows into the DC hero, The Flash, because his sense of moral justice is just about as much, equal to mine. He also doesn't really have a sense of humor, and I'm referring to Barry Allen, The Flash. He grows up into basically a perfect character, from being a supreme imperfect. Ash doesn't really have that much of a Marvel equivalent either, but, while he's kind of an arrogant jerk, and a funny, jokester, jokes around a lot, he also does have especially when he gets older, has a sense of moral justice, again, equal to pretty much Ty's, and thus, he's Green Lantern, Hal Jordan. And the Flash and Green Lantern, they are Flash and Green Lantern, and not much more to say. A couple more. Evil Man, the main villain of the series, actually doesn't relate to Lex Luthor the most. He does, but he's not the most. The villain he relates to the most is Dr. Octopus, and the reason is that Doc Ock is one cold-hard son of a gun who's going to try to take over the world, and there's nothing you can do to stop him. Well, you can stop him, but there's nothing that's going to make his attitude change. And he just wants to rule the world like some megalomaniac, crazy fool. And Lex Luthor, he does think that his plan should go through. He doesn't care how many people die, which also relates him to Stalin and Mao Zedong. But again, he is a communist, so that's okay. Dr. Funnel would be kind of like the Penguin and Kingpin. I don't really need to explain either of those. But, that's basically all I have. Thanks for watching, everyone.